I'm Mark.
I'm Adam.
And this is the Chain Lift Podcast, episode 16.
Please, don't insult me, okay? I invented the chat and cut. This is amateur hour. If I was gonna do it, you wouldn't even notice. It's the pig Parker. This is chaos. Society can't function like this. That's just shoddy.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop, brother.
Woo! Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Chicken, McFly.
Well, the jerk store called. They're running out of you.
You're their all-time bestseller.
Pretty good.
Bro, we figure we's a little juice.
No, we sing the juice. Where's the juice? No, we sing the juice.
Great show tonight. We're gonna have a good one.
Yeah.
What a schmohawk!
What's up, guys? Thanks for listening to the Chain Lift Podcast, episode 16, like Mark just said. This episode is going to be super fun because we have the best guy in the entire world on our episode with us as a guest. You might have heard us talk about him a few times in our videos or in our podcast before. His name is Murray, and he has lots of nicknames. Fish, Mulch Nuts is a new one, and one I just thought of, which is Fish Nuts. It's the combination of the two nicknames. Yeah, he's been our friend for a long time. He's our bandmate.
Our drummer.
He's an all-around great guy. All right, Murray, thanks for being on with us today.
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for having me.
We have Murray on the show with us today because we recently took a trip out to Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin. Murray went with us, so we wanted to have him on the podcast so that he
And Helldiver.
And Helldiver. Oh yeah,
Our
Nick.
best buddy, Helldiver.
Yeah, Nick couldn't be on the episode today just because times didn't line up. But
That's my fault.
yeah, he was also on the trip. It was a great trip, full of 4 cool dudes. 3 of them have a lot of tattoos. One of them has 1 tattoo. So we look like a band walking through the park.
Well, it looks like 3 band members and this guy just in a row.
And some loser following
The
you
merch
guys
guy.
around. Yeah, the merch guy. Yeah.
I'm the merch guy.
Yeah. So before we get to the trip overview, we're going to talk about a few things happening in the amusement park news.
This will be interesting because I've only heard of the Fun Spa Atlanta thing.
Oh, yeah. And before I get to the news, I didn't point this out. So Murray is not what you would call a coaster enthusiast. Is that correct, Murray?
Correct. I do it just to have fun and go on a road trip once a year with you guys. But you guys did convince me because of all the podcasts and episodes. I never really rolled roller coasters as an adult, and I wanted to see it through your eyes. So that's how this whole thing started a couple years ago.
2 things. That's cool. Okay. 1, I would say Murray is a coaster enthusiast with training wheels.
Yes.
There you go.
He's eager to become an enthusiast, I would say.
And he's trying. And 2, even though he hasn't been on a whole lot of coasters, this guy was like number 2,000 and like 200 to ride Maverick.
That's
Me and
true.
him went in 2007 on a rainy Saturday. That was the first day it opened because if people remember, Maverick opened late.
Yeah.
And when we went, we didn't think it was going to be open, but we walked up and there was a sign that says Maverick is now open. We got first rider t-shirts and a card with our number, and we're like 2,000 or something.
What size was your t-shirt?
Extra large.
Of course.
Yes.
Free shirts are always extra large, no matter what.
I also got a first rider gatekeeper, which was an extra large.
Extra large, of course. Yeah, it's always extra large.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so like you were saying, Murray, he wouldn't be considered a coaster enthusiast, but whenever we take him on trips, he asks a lot of questions. So he does have interest in the coaster enthusiast community.
And
I would
we'll
say
be doing a beginner's trivia contest with him to see what he knows.
a game later. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Murray, we're going to talk about some amusement park news. If you don't know what we're talking about, just hang in there. And
I'm just gonna sit here and absorb it all.
Okay. This will all be news to you, Murray and Mark.
And me. I've been in the process of getting a house, so like I haven't been paying attention at all. And I
Yeah.
kind of read a show outline. I was like, I didn't know about any of this. So
Probably the biggest news going on right now is Fun Spot America, which
never heard of it.
it's a tiny amusement park. They have 3 parks. They have one in Orlando, one in Kissimmee, and then one in Atlanta, Georgia. The one in Atlanta is the smallest one. It's mostly like go-kart tracks and miniature golf. I think they have like a Wild Mouse coaster. Anyways, they made a big announcement that they're working with RMC. They're building a new roller coaster at the park. They haven't announced any like specs or anything of the new coaster, but they did release a photo of some iBox track being built. And they have also done some other like teaser videos. And the most recent one, they announced like what the colors are going to be of the ride. I believe a blueprint and the trademark that they made for the name have been leaked.
What's the name?
The name. Okay, so first when the announcement was made, FunSpot said that they were hoping to partner with a local Atlanta sports franchise for the theming in the name. Like Kennywood did with Steel Curtain, which Murray has been on.
I have.
He's nodding. But apparently no Atlanta team took him up on their deal.
Oh my gosh.
So they scrapped that idea and they're going with a more of a patriotic theme. The coaster, the track, the structure, the wood is going to be white, and then the rails are going to be blue and red.
That's cool.
Like how Joker has one side purple, one side's green.
Yeah.
So this is going to be white, blue, and red. And the name that they trademarked is...
It's like, why they go after Coke? Make a Coke coaster.
Oh, it could be a Coke. Coca-Cola, not the drug.
Rocky Mountain Coke.
The booger sugar coaster.
What?
Booger sugar. Coke, cocaine.
Yeah.
But, okay, so the owners of the park, their last name is Arie, A-R-I-E. The name that they trademarked is Air Force One.
Oh my gosh.
Like Air Force One.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if that's the official name. They did trademark it though.
Okay.
And it would fit with the theme. And they did mention like wanting to pay tribute to the father. I forget, it's like John Arie Sr. and then the son is Mark Arie or something. But anyways, so that's the name. And then a blueprint was released. It doesn't give any stats or anything. It just shows you like an overhead view of the coaster. It's kind of like a basic L shape. It does look like it has some inversions, like it's either an Immelman or a dive loop. It's hard to tell because it's overhead. But anyways, they're gonna announce it sometime later this summer. And I think leading up to the big announcement, they're gonna release more little information. But it's pretty cool that a small park like that is adding RMC. I don't know if it's gonna pay off for them or not, because probably they're spending around 10 million, I would guess, for the new coaster. So they're gonna have to expect like a lot of people coming to their park to ride it.
I think I've read that Six Flags over in Georgia does get really high attendance. I could be wrong on that, but I thought I saw it somewhere. I think there is a big market for this stuff in Atlanta. It's not surrounded by. Florida's kind of far away, so I think it'll do okay. It's a weird park to me to invest that much money into it.
Yeah.
Though. It seems like it'd be smarter to add like two $5 million coasters, something like that. But well.
Well, I think even it'd be smarter for them to maybe add on a water park or something first, which maybe they already have one. I don't think they do. Yeah, but you're right. It's weird for them to invest so much into such a small park. It'd be like your local, like Craig's Cruisers, which we have in Michigan. It'd be like it's basically an arcade and go-kart tracks. It would be like something like that, all of a sudden adding a $10 million coaster.
I know, it's weird, but
I'm not going to complain.
I'm assuming they've done their due diligence. I don't know their numbers. I don't know their attendance numbers. Maybe they've been saving for a while. Maybe it will. But I'm happy to go down there and ride it.
And another piece of information that was released with the leak of the blueprints was it looks like they have plans for expanding, because on the map it had like an area that said future expansion pad, and it's a large chunk of area. Like it would double the size of the park. So maybe they have some grand plans. It's a good market there in Atlanta.
So Murray, what do you think they're going to add in that expansion?
Probably a coaster.
You got it. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see the final layout and everything of Air Force One.
But
yeah. And then the other big news is Six Flags Fiesta Texas. They seem to be the other park, because I don't think too many parks are like kind of teasing what's coming in 2022.
We are approaching August, which is generally the announcement times.
Right. So it looks like Fun Spot and Six Flags Fiesta Texas are the first parks to kind of start teasing and something new. Six Flags Fiesta Texas, it was a couple weeks ago, they did like this parade. It was like kind of a miniature parade. It was kind of like haunted steampunk themed.
Sure.
And they marched down the midway holding this blimp that said 2022. And then they've been teasing something large coming. Most people assume it's a coaster. They announced that they're going to make the big announcement on July 28th. They've also announced that the Sundance Theater is being removed. That's the theater across from Iron Rattler, if you've been there, which is also right next to their new Daredevil Dive flat ride that they just added, which also has a steampunk theme.
Steampunk area, probably.
Yes. So, and the parade, it was kind of like Western steampunk theme. So maybe like the whole Iron Rattler, Daredevil Dive, this new ride, it's all going to be like a steampunk Western theme throughout, which works for Iron Rattler too, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, every time I see this stuff, I always think of, okay, well, who do they work with recently? Of course, they work with RMC a fair amount. They do have 2 RMCs, so I don't think it's an RMC. I think you can scratch that off, probably. I mean, nothing's out of the realm of possibility. They have been working with SNS. They have been working with Premiere.
Yeah.
They don't. What's their wood coaster there? Do they have any wood coasters?
No, they don't.
I would like to see a wood coaster here, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, unless I'm missing something, I can't think of once they.
We've been there, I promise.
Yeah, once they turned Rattler into Iron Rattler, I don't think they have a wooden coaster there. No.
I mean, I know Six Flags doesn't like to spend crazy amounts of money on stuff. I think you can get a real solid GCI there. You can do a gravity group. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's my thoughts. I've kind of just saw this a little bit a couple days ago, but I didn't really look into it at all. So yeah. I guess my first blush thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. So I found the coaster model that people are thinking maybe it is. So Zamperla just announced a new coaster model. It's called the Double Heart Lightning. It's a launch coaster. It looks very similar to the Skyrocket 2 model. I'm showing.
Looks like a shuttle.
Yeah. So they're pretty tall, though. It's about 230 feet tall, I think, and it goes about 80 miles an hour.
Even the supports look like the Skyrockets.
Yeah, so that won't be that exciting if it's that. I mean, I think it'll be fun, but I'm hoping it's more than that.
All I'm hearing right now, is we're going to be in Texas next year.
Yeah.
That's all I'm hearing. Yeah.
I'd love to go back to Texas because I want to go back and to SeaWorld and ride Texas Stingray, too. Yeah. So
we'll be in Texas next year.
Get back to Texas. San Antonio is a great city. Anyways, that's all the amusement park news.
Now let's get Murray in here.
Well, let's get Murray in here.
Waiting patiently for
Murray.
Yes,
we appreciate it.
We've held him back.
So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back,
the gates are open and the beast is wild. Here he comes, runs to the screen.
We're going to unleash Murray on you guys. All right, we'll be back.
Hello, friends. The only thing better than riding a world-class roller coaster is having a world-class cup of coffee. And we got that cup of coffee for you.
Yes, we do. That cup of coffee is from Green Glass Coffee Company, located in Paw Paw, Michigan. They specialize in artisan roasted specialty coffees made honestly. They take pride in providing you coffee that has been resourced responsibly.
That's right, folks. So go to greenglasscoffee.com and get this delicious coffee. And when you wake up in the morning and you're drinking it and you feel alive,
think about us.
Think about us.
greenglasscoffee.com. Honestly made, honestly good. So like I said at the beginning of the episode, Murray, Mark, myself, and Nick Helldiver, my partner in Airtime Misfits. If you haven't checked out that podcast, make sure you do. We all 4 of us went on a very fun trip to Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. The 4 parks we hit were Adventureland, which is in Iowa, Valleyfair in Minnesota, Nickelodeon Universe at Mall of America, Mount Olympus at Wisconsin Dells, and we were going to hit Little America in Wisconsin. I can't think of the name of the city, but they decided to close on that day because of weather. It was kind of stormy.
But it stormed pretty good.
Yeah, so it was a bummer that we missed out on Little America because we wanted to check out their weirdo toboggan coaster. Anyways, let's just start right away with the Adventureland. It was all of our first time going to the park. What were your first impressions, Mark?
I have heard that when they built this park, I think it opened in, was it 78? I think 1978.
Something like that.
That they
Murray, what year did it open?
78.
That's right.
I'll fact check you later. But I had heard previously that they did base a lot of it off of Disneyland. They got a lot of ideas, and when you do walk up, you can absolutely see that. They have, like the train right in front.
The entrance
walk underneath the tunnel, underneath the train.
The entrance is a poor man's version of Disney World.
Oh yeah,
the Magic Kingdom. It's like you could definitely tell that that's what they were going for. It's it's that, but on a very tiny budget.
It's the Walmart Disneyland.
It is. I will say though, my first impression, like walking in, the entrance, it's charming for what it is, and the main midway area, entry plaza, it was nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It has a lot of like the fake, it has a lot of the weird shop interiors, like it's like a mini little old town, I guess.
Yeah,
you see quite a bit. It has the merry-go-round in there. It's fine.
It had its charm. Yeah. You could tell they were trying to make something really nice, but on a very small budget.
Smaller budget, sure.
Yeah. I appreciate the effort, though.
I appreciate the effort. What about you, Murray?
What were your first impressions of the park?
I don't even remember the park. I just remember staring at the monster and going, how am I going to survive this? As we start to talk about this, the listeners should know I love the rides. The scariest part for me is going up. And this one, just you lay on your back and pretty much go straight up.
Yeah. He informed me that he does not want to be talked to while he's going up Lipton. Now,
that's a fact.
We took him to Kennywood two years ago.
Yep.
And as everybody knows, Steel Curtain is the slowest lift of all time.
It's so slow.
Steel Curtain takes forever to get up there. I did not have the pleasure of sitting next to Murray. How was he doing?
I sat with Murray on that, and I do think I chatted with him, or I tried, but I looked over and he was just had his eyes closed, and it was just like talking to himself down, keeping himself calm. So then I just left him alone. But yeah, Murray hates the lift hills. So when it's especially slow, like Steel Curtain, or like with Monster, I think it was with it being like a vertical lift that kind of gave you some worry.
And especially like the first time before you ride it. So I mean, I ended up riding it 3 times that day. It's fun. It's totally worth it. But I also learned I don't like planes when they go up either. So I know what I have to do. I just have to be quiet and kind of go to my happy place and just find my Zen moment and stay there till we get to the top. And then it's like, all right, game on. Let's do this.
Now, I was a good friend because I asked you, I found this on a wild thing. I didn't say a peep to you now, did I? I respected you.
Right.
Yep. I did.
I forget what we were riding, but at one point I was sitting by Murray and I turned around because Mark and Helldiver were sitting behind me. And I turned around and looked at Mark, and he whispered to me, "Don't talk to Murray," because I didn't know, so I didn't.
I mean, you guys could. I'm just probably not going to respond. I'm just trying to be very happy. All right, think about how fun the ride's going to be. And over the years, it's gotten better. Steel Curtain was. I mean, you guys broke me in pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like that for you with every coaster, or just the bigger ones?
Probably just the bigger ones. So the interesting thing was riding Monster and then riding Wild Thing.
Yeah.
So Monster, you're straight on your back and going straight up. Yeah. I was like, well, maybe Wild Thing will be better because it's not as steep.
Right.
It's taller though by 70 feet.
Yeah, and it goes a little bit slower. So I was like, both of them were about the same, but each year it gets easier and easier. And after being on those, the smaller ones, I can interact a little bit and listen and hang out with you guys.
Right. I will say, I did notice a difference between this trip and when we took you to Kennywood. You did seem a lot more comfortable trying all the coasters and getting on them. And because I think even when we went to Kennywood, I think by the end of the night, you were kind of bowed out from doing Steel or Phantom's Revenge again and that kind of stuff. So
because I think we went on it 2 or 3 times, and at that point I was like, my body's not built up to it like your guys is. I can tell it is just beat up right now.
Right.
I had a blast, but I was like, I'm gonna sit this last one out.
You have to build up your coaster riding calluses.
Right.
Train wheels are still on, like I said.
Yeah. So overall, I think Adventureland, while we're at the park, we're trying to think of other parks that we could compare it to. I think the closest that we came up with was if you've been to Waldemere or Holiday World. I think Holiday World is nicer.
Holiday World, excluding the Thunderbird area.
Yeah.
It's like that. I would say Waldemere and Indiana Beach.
Yep.
A nicer, trust me, it's a nicer Indiana Beach, but I'd say it's where I've seen the closest comparison.
Yeah, I agree. It's along those lines, like a mid-tier, lower budget park. I will say the park was very clean.
Oh yeah, the employees were super nice.
Yeah, the staff was well trained. Everything ran smoothly.
Also, too, one thing I noticed it was very clear. The ride ops, the guys on the microphones were always very good,
very enthusiastic.
Yes,
I noticed that too. And it seemed like at Adventureland, this is kind of more unusual for parks, because I noticed though that most of the people actually running the coaster were older people.
Yeah,
and it seems like when you go to parks, it's usually like teenagers and people in their young 20s. But at Adventureland, like they gave all the young. Which another thing I noticed while I'm talking about age of ride operators and stuff. I noticed it more so this trip than any other trip, and it could be because of the pandemic and parks are having a hard time hiring. But it seemed like at Adventureland and Valleyfair, they had so many like super young kids working.
Oh yeah, we were on Tornado. That kid had to be 14.
Yeah,
least.
like I don't know if they were hiring these children legally or not, but like you could tell like they were still like pretty young.
Or they had a very baby face.
Right.
Yeah, they were 18.
Yeah. But as we were saying, though, like the person actually running the coaster was usually like an older adult, like 30s and up, 40s, 50s even. Very well trained, very friendly, very enthusiastic about their job.
Very good staff.
Yeah. So like overall, like it's a lower budget park, and that's obvious when you're there, but they do like the best they can with their budget, I think.
Yeah, I think they're on the you can tell that the it's definitely getting past the lower budget stage, like almost like Kennywood is starting to pump bigger rides.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Slayer, well, it's not a huge coaster. It is a bigger coaster than like your standard, like most of these parks have tons of CCIs and like these older wooden coasters.
Yeah.
And so you can tell that they're ascending though.
Yeah, I agree.
There's money into that park. They get traffic.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So infrastructure will come next and get better and better. And as you can see with Dragon Slayer.
Yeah. Dragon Slayer, that was a solid coaster. That's one of those SNS 4D free spin coasters.
And Dragon Slayer had something I've never seen before on these 4D coasters. They had it. Each side was different.
Yeah.
Like one side was what do they call it? Like
Squire, and the other one was like something out like
Slayer or something.
Slayer, yeah.
So the Slayer side or wherever that side was, it spun way more. But if you want to tame a ride, you can go on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the Six Flags parks do that.
Not that I know of. And I especially appreciated that because I'm not a huge fan of these like 4D SNS spinning coasters. So I was really happy to see that like they had the option of riding on the right side where it didn't spin nearly as much. So this was my favorite 4D SNS coaster that I've been on.
I still like the bigger ones better, but
yeah, because this is a shorter model too.
It's a shorter model.
Yeah, so it was for me, it was my favorite of those models.
It's a really good ride for that park.
It is. Yeah,
I was shocked because Nick decided to sit out on it because he doesn't like them, so I didn't know what to expect. I was like, man, this might be a little like I might not like it, but it was surprisingly fun. I really liked it. Yeah,
I was pretty worried you weren't going to like it either. Like I thought for sure you were going to hate it.
It sits in a really good location too. If you've been to Adventureland, or if you haven't, they have like this big like pond like right in the middle of the park, and it sits on the end of the pond. So when you're walking around the pathways, it looks really cool.
Yeah,
and it sits in front of a tornado with all like the white wooden track. Yeah, it looks really good.
It does look cool.
And the locals seem to love it.
Yeah, it was definitely a general public pleaser.
You know, us coaster enthusiasts, I think sometimes we forget that, you know, we see 40 coasters everywhere, but like they don't.
Right.
To them, this is probably like mind blowing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's really good for that park. It's a perfect addition. And then in the back of the park, they have Outlaw.
It's a CCI twister coaster.
Yeah.
It looks really good from the midway. They did a good job.
It's an interesting layout too.
The drop is when you walk underneath the drop, kind of. It looks really good from the midway. The ride itself's fine. I mean, it's a coaster credit.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't think it was like uncomfortable or anything. It was just kind of fine. It was a little rough.
It's an older CCI.
Yeah.
What do you think about Outlaw, Murray?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It was a solid for a wooden coaster. I I really wanted Tornado to be better just because I love tornadoes. Like I wanted to get a shirt, like I wanted it to be the best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, man, like I just don't know.
I have a question. Okay, I just want to clarify. Okay, which one was Tornado and which one was Outlaw, Murray? Let's make sure we're on the same page.
Tornado was the white one, the first one went on.
He's got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the two wooden coasters, Tornado and Outlaw, I liked Outlaw better.
Tornado is an out and back wooden coaster, which I always appreciate on old Woodies. I think it was built the year the park opened. I would assume
so. Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
It's rough. Yeah.
It's an out and back coaster.
They retracked a couple spots on it, I think.
You could tell, yeah.
But the parts of that were not retracked were rough.
It's the worst coaster in the park, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It is literally a coaster couldn't get out of there.
Yep.
I think Outlaw is too.
Yeah.
Outlaw is more enjoyable. I think it's going to age worse, though.
Yeah, I think.
Bad.
Yeah, I think Outlaw is more rewritable, though.
Yeah.
And then they have a super weird coaster there called the Underground.
Yes.
Which
is CCI too.
Yeah, which is CCI. I purposely did not look into this coaster at all. I didn't watch any POV videos of it. So going into it, I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
And Murray, I'm assuming you didn't know what to expect either.
No, I still don't know what to expect.
So even like the queue for the ride, it's all outdoors. And then eventually you make your way into the building.
They don't even let you in the building either until
you board the coaster, basically.
When you enter the building, you're right in like where you load.
Yep.
So
did you
no idea.
Did you know much about the coaster, Mark?
I only saw a video of just the room where you stand in.
Right.
I didn't watch any POV.
Right. So
well, going in too, I would say too, going in, I knew what it was. Like I knew like it was indoors. I was thinking like the Black Diamond mining coaster like at Knoebels.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
It's kind of kind of the same idea. You sit in like kind of a normal length coaster train. Yeah, it's like a dark ride themed to like miners mining in the mining shaft. Is it haunted themed? I don't know.
No. Yeah. Here's a perfect example, like for people, because everyone's been at Dollywood. It's kind of like Blazing Furies at Dollywood.
Yeah. Yes. Fire in the Holes at Silverwood. Yeah.
It's like Blazing Fury, where like you slowly
ascend.
You slowly ascend.
Yeah.
But the difference is though, there was no drop.
There was never a drop. Yeah.
You just carted around. Like it looked like. The thing about it was though, like it wasn't even filled with dummies or anything. They just kind of rode around in blackness
in the dark. Yeah,
with an occasional like mining dummy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I don't even think some of them moved. Some of them were mechanical, but a lot of them were just kind of stationary.
Weird.
I wouldn't even say it was charming either, because sometimes these old like really shoddily themed coasters are kind of charming. I wouldn't say this one even reached that level.
So
I'm so glad you guys were confused when we got off, because I was looking around like, did I miss something?
I think I was sitting by Murray, but like I remember you and Nick were behind us. Like I think I turned to you at one point. I was like, there's gonna be a drop at some point.
Well, yeah, like I said, I didn't know what to expect, and a lot of the rides in the dark, so I kept like anticipating at some point we were gonna like come to some kind of drop.
You just pulled into the station.
Yeah, and then like just when you think you're about to drop, finally, like you're in the station.
You see light.
Yeah.
Like
I think the biggest thrill of that ride was the biggest thrill of that ride was when the chain lift caught just to take you up a 10-foot hill
and like snapped your neck.
Murray stole my thunder. Yeah, so. And that's why I kept waiting for the drop, because
there's 2 or 3 chain lifts,
and when you hit it, it's always pitch black, and it's not graceful when it hits the chain. It hurts you.
It does. Fire in the Hole and Blazing Fury are way better.
Yeah, there's a drop.
Yeah,
and there's much better, like, not to say puppeteering, but like
it's more charming. Yeah.
More charming.
And Murray, like, not knowing what to expect on the ride and being in the dark, did it kind of make it not scary for you, but like were you a little bit more nervous about riding, not knowing what was about to happen in the darkness?
Not so much on that one, just because it felt a little bit smaller, like just being inside the building. I knew it wasn't going to be anything major.
Right.
Now when we get to, what was it, Zeus? Is that the one we rode? We'll come back to that one.
Oh, Hades, yeah.
And
Or
also
Hades,
about
yeah.
the underground too. I kept messing with Murray. I kept saying there was some like gnarly launch. inside that coaster.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He kept telling Murray to brace himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen. I guess me and you, we kind of touched on it, but I'm sure people are saying like you guys aren't talking about Monster.
Oh, right.
We never really talked about Monster.
That's true. Yeah.
So before we get to the other ones, we'll talk about that. But like quickly, because Underground's right across from Monster, I just thought about it.
Yeah.
So Monster is a it's the Eurofighter. Right?
Yeah, Gerstlauer. Yeah.
No, it's an Infinity Coaster. Sorry, it's an Infinity Coaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's really unique.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite Gerstlauer I've ever been on. So one thing great about Monster, if you guys have ever been there, that I think is so unique about it is every element on it, you just like almost stall. It's almost all stalls.
Mm-hmm.
You like everything slows down over every single element.
Mm-hmm.
It's really unique.
Yeah, I think the speed on the coaster is perfect because you really get to gracefully go through the 5 inversions, so like you can really fully enjoy them. Because I usually don't like multiple inversion coasters like that all that much, but I thought this was paced perfectly.
The ride is literally like it's drop, then go into a huge inversion very slowly, then drop out of that inversion and go into a huge inversion slowly, drop out of that inversion and go to huge inversion slowly. It's all it is.
Yeah.
But I've never been on a coaster like that before where every element was like hang time installed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really unique.
Yeah.
And they built the chairlift to go through it. So it's really cool seeing it from the midway because you got this chairlift going through all this crazy twisted track and inversions. It's something to see in person.
Yeah. Oh, and a fun story about the chairlift ride.
Yeah.
So Nick and I split off from Mulch Nuts and Mark for a little while. So Mark and Murray, they were doing their own thing. I think we're like each taking video.
You just got done with your walkthrough.
Yeah, I was taking video and Nick was with me, and then Murray and Mark were hanging out. Anyways.
Well, the chairlift was closed. I wanted to ride it.
Right.
The chairlift was closed all day long. As I was getting footage, I was like, oh my God, the chairlift's open.
Yeah. So I sent Mark a text and I was like, oh man, the chairlift's open. So he told me to ride it and take some video. So I was like, you got it. And then at that same time, Mark said that him and Murray were getting in line to ride Monster. So I was like, okay. And then in my mind, and Nick and I talked about it, we were like, oh, it'd be so cool if we were like going through the Monster coaster while they were on it. And wouldn't you know,
going down the first drop.
That's right. The angels were watching over. Everything lined up. So as Helldiver and I were on the chairlift, I spotted the train going up the lift hill, and Murray was wearing a bright yellow shirt that day and some sweet dollar store sunglasses that we forced him to wear all day. And wouldn't you know, like they were going up the lift hill and they dropped right under our feet. It was like perfect timing.
We got a picture.
We took a picture. It was so cool. Yeah.
It was a free ride picture, but I ended up paying for one on our 3rd time through because you guys convinced me to finally put my hands up. So that was the first coaster I'd ever put my hands up on. It was like perfect timing in the picture. Mark's looking at me to see if I'm going to put my hands up, and I did. And then
it is a great photo because you can see Mark like watching you ride the coaster,
right.
But you didn't look like you were miserable or anything. So
no, again, each year it gets easier and easier, and it's just the whole point of feeling in control. But I'm like, well, you're on a ride, like it seems to be safe, like just relax a little bit and let it go.
Well, the reason, I was like riding rides with Murray because one thing about Murray is like he doesn't make a sound the entire time. It's complete silence. So like you have to look at him, and usually he's just like smiling.
Oh yeah,
I know he's having a good time.
Yeah, because you're right. Because Murray, he doesn't say a lot. So sometimes I'll look over to see if he's like miserable or liking it, and most times he seems like he's enjoying it. Yeah. I can't think of a coaster where I looked at Murray and he seemed miserable.
No,
I can't think of one. Well. I couldn't see him in Hades, so
so we'll get to that. But I've liked every coaster I've ever been on with you guys, or pretty much in general, except for Hades. But there were specific reasons for that,
right?
But overall, I mean, it's always fun, and you guys, explain the coaster a little bit before I get on there. So it's really cool that you guys do that for just anyone listening to the podcast to be able to hear, like, okay, maybe if people aren't as willing as I am to just jump on any coaster, like you give a good breakdown of it. Yeah,
you ask good questions too. Yeah, I'll say.
He really cares. He's trying to break those training wheels off.
I am. Maybe next year it'll just be a 2-wheeler.
Me and Mark are standing behind him, holding onto the seat, and we're gonna let him go.
Yeah.
Without the training wheels, and he'll either crash and burn, or he'll be fine.
He's like a little baby bird in the nest. Next year we're gonna throw him out so he flies on his own.
Yeah.
And just to wrap up Adventureland, because we got more to get to. It has the Phoenix, which is a Mauer spinning coaster. It's a clone of
Laugh Track. Yeah.
Spider at Lagoon and Laugh Track.
Yep. Pretty fun. Yeah.
I liked it. It's more like Laugh Track than Spider. Spider, it spins constantly. I didn't like it. Not much spin. So if you don't like spinning coasters, I think you're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, it was fun. I agree.
It's just fun. Am I missing the other coaster there?
I don't think so.
We covered it all.
Yeah.
It has pretty good flats. It has a lot of like your Fireboat. It has the Falling Star.
Yeah. A lot of the flat rides you'd see at a carnival, it seems like. But good ones.
It does have the only Wind Seeker that is not Cedar Fair.
Yeah, that's right.
And we checked it off.
Storm Chaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same name as Storm Chaser Kentucky Kingdom.
Right. Yep.
But we checked that box. We have been on every single Windseeker.
Yeah. Is it Mondial that makes those? Yeah. Yeah.
Murray did not ride it.
Nope.
That and the those ones and the what is it? The Demon Drop ones.
Oh, the drop tower ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the two kinds that I just don't like.
Right. Yeah, so Murray's
sorry, but like to me that probably explains how new of a coaster guy Murray is. He calls every drop tower the Demon Drop ones.
Oh man, trivia is gonna be rough on me today.
All right, yeah. So overall, I would say Adventureland, it was a solid park. It was about what I expected. Yeah, it's fun.
We did not get to ride Monster at night. That is on my bucket list.
Yeah, because it looks amazing at night.
We had to get up to Minneapolis for Valleyfair the next day. It was about a 4-hour drive from there.
Yep.
I would like to go back. I still feel like I could have did more there.
Oh, sure, yeah.
For all those wondering, because we get asked all the time, the merch is not very good. It's fine. It's better than like a lot of Six Flags parks.
Yeah.
They had a really cool Dragon Slayer hoodie.
Yeah, they did.
It kind of had like Dungeons and Dragons looking.
Yeah, but it was cool.
Yeah, really cool. They had like one basic tornado shirt. Other than that, no coaster shirts.
Also, Helldiver broke a bunch of stuff in the gift shop.
Be careful with the shelves.
Yeah. He was looking at some like glass baby cup, talking about like, why would they make a baby cup out of glass? And all of a sudden, crash. He broke like 5 of them. So, but they were very nice about it. They didn't make him pay for it or anything. And anyways, check it out if you're in Iowa.
Yeah.
On to Valleyfair, which we did the following day.
Yeah.
Valleyfair, it's in the Cedar Fair chain of parks. Mark had been there before. I had not been there before.
I had been there before, about 6 years ago.
Yeah. Murray and Nick had not been there either. My first impression.
Well, I'm curious. So obviously Cedar Fair.
Oh, yeah.
They put money into it. Everything's beautifully landscaped.
Yep.
You know, it's a concrete jungle. It's so nice.
Oh yeah.
No, like nothing's left to be like let go at any point.
Yeah.
So Murray, after being at Adventureland, which is still very charming, I'm not saying anything, like it's a money difference. It's just different.
Yeah.
What'd you think about going from Adventureland? And of course, all the other parks we took you to last time was like Waldemere and Conneaut Lake. Kennywood's nice, but still kind of
it's lower budget. Yeah.
What'd you think about after seeing like Valleyfair, which is like a big budget like corporate park compared to Adventureland? Because it is vastly different.
Yeah, I think we did it in the right order. I definitely like Valleyfair better. Adventureland was kind of like a warm up, and then we got to like the bigger, shinier park the next day.
Right.
But with that being said, I will give Kennywood, the benefit of it's got that vintage charm, which I absolutely love. So I don't think I could compare those two, but I could definitely compare Adventureland to Valleyfair, and Valleyfair just felt like the big brother park.
Yeah.
Now, even though like Adventureland, it does have that vintage feel to it in some areas because it is lower budget. And a lot of that you could tell with, like probably the Midway area when you first walk in was probably still from 1978-ish with like a little bit of updates.
Right. Did
you prefer the aesthetic of Adventureland, or do you prefer, even though like Valleyfair, everything is pristinely like landscaped and like every building is like done to make sure it's nice? Did you prefer that, or did you prefer Adventureland, even though there's some spots that could have been, because I usually tend to prefer the vintage charm stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go that way for comparing the charm of the park. So if I took the rides off the table, I'd prefer Adventureland.
Okay.
But ride-wise. But with that being said, to Valleyfair's credit, they also had High Roller and some other, wooden coasters that I just absolutely loved. So they also brought in some of that charm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I usually prefer like the older charm parks. Like Kennywood's a great example. I love Kennywood because it has that vintage charm, and Knoebels. Love those parks. I don't feel that charm as much with Adventureland. I don't know what it is. Yeah, in sections you can feel it, but I just don't feel it quite as much. I don't know why exactly. It could be the location of the park.
Yeah.
Like there's a few more like ugly parts that are exposed at Adventureland.
Yeah, I think one of you said it, where it's like the entrance has that charm, and then once you get into the park, it's almost non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
But on the Valleyfair, I really like that park quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's very long.
Mm-hmm.
It does have some weird like dead end pathways, but it feels very different than the rest of Cedar Fair parks.
Yeah,
very different.
Mm-hmm.
Wild Thing and Renegade are obviously the 1-2 punch there. Both very good.
Yeah, I agree. I loved Wild Thing, and I've been on. That was the last Morgan hypercoaster that I had not been on.
Yeah. Excluding, I'm gonna take Phantom off the table just because there's some Arrow. It's Arrow too.
Yeah,
and we won't include Steel Yell. Of the 3 hypers,
Steel Force, Mamba, Wild Thing.
How would you rate them?
I would say Steel Force at Dorney is my favorite of the 3. Wild Thing and Last Mamba.
I agree. Now,
Murray, what's yours? Kidding.
Well, Wild Thing would have to be number 1.
Yeah.
We'll see about 2 and 3.
So, I went 6 years ago, and I hadn't rode Steel Force yet in Mamba, but when I rode it back then, I remember liking Wild Thing a lot, but I always, after riding Mamba and Steel Force, I always thought it was the worst one of the 3. It changed my mind this time. It's better than Mamba.
I agree.
It is better than Mamba.
Mm-hmm. You still like Steel Force the best?
Steel Force is the best.
Yeah.
Wild Thing's really good. I really like the turnaround.
The figure 8 turnaround.
It's massive.
It is. It looks so cool from the midway in the parking lot too.
Oh yeah.
The bright green colors.
I love the colors. I'm a sucker for green.
You are. Yeah.
Like green on green. Well, yeah. I mean, weren't you impressed with the way Wild Thing just looked, Murray? It's
very appealing.
Oh man. And I love how the turnaround was fit right by the entrance, the park.
Yeah, it was really cool. And that's why after going last year or 2 years ago, pre-COVID with you guys to a park and seeing what you guys see, I was able to focus more on that this time around. And yeah, there's just like the aesthetics of that ride were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool too. Like, because when you walk over by Steel Venom, you can walk under the turnaround of Wild Thing and get really good footage of it. And it's fun to just watch it over there.
So, and also, speaking of Steel Venom, so when I went 6 years ago, they hadn't had. I mean, of course, that path was there, but it was different. They didn't have what do they call it? Like
Delirious?
Route 76.
Oh yeah,
area.
Route 76. Yeah.
When I was there last, they had the Enterprise still there. The Starflyer, what do they call the Starflyer there?
Northern Star.
North Star.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. So that new Route 76 area is amazing.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because before you couldn't get those views of Wild Thing.
Yeah.
And you didn't like walk straight into Steel Venom like you do now. I loved that area. Loved it.
Yeah, I like that area a lot. The only thing I don't like about it is it gets a little bit. You're a little bit too exposed to the parking lot by Steel Venom. Like it'd be nice if there's a little bit more of a barrier, like trees or a taller wooden fence or something. You're a little bit in the parking lot, but if you ignore the parking lot and you just like pay attention to like the rides and the atmosphere, it's really cool.
I didn't pay attention to that.
Because if you wait in line for Steel Venom, which Mark didn't ride, he was getting video. He had already been on it, but you're like right next to the parking lot. Like you could, if your car was there, you could like lock it and unlock it, like it's right there.
Speaking of Steel Venom, this was the coaster I thought Murray would be the most worried about.
Yeah.
Because when we went to Cedar Point, well, because of the launch.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried like you're going to see that at launch and go, I'm not riding that.
Yeah.
But you told me you had rode a Wicked Twister with me before. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, so I actually like the launches that go that fast because now I don't have to worry about the up. And
Right.
that's what convinced me to ride Top Thrill Dragster when we went, Mark. I was
Oh,
like, oh yeah, it might be the largest coaster. I'm not worried about that. It's gonna get me up there in whatever it was, like 0.05 seconds.
yeah, right.
I just assumed you would see like the launch flying on that. And of course, all those
Yeah.
impulse goes. It has that loud squeal when
Yeah.
when it shoots off.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. I thought if there was going to be any coasters that Murray would not ride, it was going to be Dragon Slayer and Steel Venom.
Yeah.
I thought you might not want to do
He
those.
jumped right. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, and
Murray
those two
rode
were the
everything.
least of my concerns.
Yeah. Oh wow. High Roller, which Murray had talked about earlier, that's was built in 1976 when the park opened.
Yeah, by a local company around there, I think I read.
Yeah.
Really fun.
I loved it. It was really, really smooth. And I think parts of the track they had recently retracked.
Yep.
It was great.
What do you think about High Roller, Murray?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I mean, to be honest, it's probably my second favorite of the park.
Yeah.
Again, to me, those old coasters go a long way with the vintage part of it. But the fact that you can have that coaster that old and still be that smooth, I don't know, just the overall experience was awesome. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, especially after the previous day. I thought maybe Kennywood broke me with having some of the best older rides, and then seeing what we saw at Adventureland, I was like, oh man, maybe I already rode the best of the best. So it was a great surprise.
I always say, anytime you see a very old wooden coaster, I like to see the out and back layout.
Yeah, that reduces the chances of it being rough.
Yeah, because as the years go on, they can slow the chain lift down, so it goes a little slower over, and you can kind of slow out and back. So there's more leeway to slow it down going along the hills where it's not so crazy like if it's an old twister coaster.
Yeah, the park, they take great care of High Roller. You can tell, like they really
every
invest
Cedar
in
Fair
it.
park does.
Yeah,
they take care of all the wood coasters,
especially the older ones. Yeah, that might be like the smoothest 70s coaster I've been on, like 70s wooden coaster I've ever been on.
Runs really well too.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a rough ride on Blue Streak, but generally it's pretty smooth. Yeah.
Well.
And that's one of the things you guys taught me was when I ask all these questions. I remember getting off of that one and saying, that one seems so much smoother, and the trick seems to be they just kind of go straight and they have the hills and like you're like, oh yeah, it's called an out and back.
Yeah.
And just like with Wild Thing, I was like, I felt like my butt wasn't on the seat at all, and they're like, oh, that's called the floater. I was like, oh, okay, so there's actual terms for this.
That's right.
You're getting all those negative G's.
Yeah.
And I told so Murray, people's been at Kennywood. There's not a lot of coasters that have really any float air time on them. Not a lot. Like Steel Curtain maybe has a couple moments. But like Murray's never been on a coaster like Goliath and over Georgia. Murray loved the float. Would you say that you love the floater stuff on Wild Thing? Where you fly on your seat?
That was really awesome.
Yeah. I want him to ride like Goliath or like
Six Flags Over Georgia.
Or like Diamondback or something like that, where it's just nonstop.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see your thoughts. I think you would like them. So we also rode the Wild Mouse coaster. We did that first, actually. We had to check that off quickly because those are nightmares to get on.
Oh, yeah, the lines are so long. Even the park's dead. You rest assured the Wild Mouse is going to be 40 minutes long. Because kids can get on it.
Yep. So that was whatever. They have a corkscrew ride, which is your basic corkscrew.
It does look good, though, because it's right in the middle. I mean, when you first walk in, it's kind of right in the middle, and it's surrounded by water. It looks really good. Yeah,
it does. It looks great. And part of it goes over the midway. So if you want to stand under the coaster and take pictures, you can. So that's always cool.
It's just a lift hill over the drop, goes over the pathway.
I think one of the corkscrews do, or part of the coaster does.
You're right.
Back by the kids area.
Right.
I will say, so their kids area is Planet Snoopy. I think Kings Island, they always win like the best children's park area or whatever, which it's really nice at Kings Island. But I think Valleyfair's is nicer. It's the nicest kids area at a Cedar Fair park that I've seen, I think.
I love that Sally swing ride.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like a hammock chair. It's like it's cool.
Yeah,
I've seen one of those before.
And they have a kids coaster there called the Cosmic Coaster.
Oh, we rode that.
We rode it. It's just a tiny little kiddie coaster.
Yep.
They give you 2 laps on it though.
Yep.
So that's whatever. And then Excalibur, which is a who makes Excalibur? Same company.
Arrow.
Yeah, that's right. Arrow. Same company that made Gemini. It was Excalibur. Yeah.
I'll ask Murray.
Yeah.
Hi, Jackson.
Hi, Jackson. He was the ride op on Excalibur.
Yep.
Did a great job. Thanks for making our first visit to Valleyfair enjoyable.
You should win Employee of the Month.
Yeah. We appreciate your enthusiasm.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Excalibur, I didn't like it as much. It's pretty intense though.
Mhm.
It's more intense than I remember it being.
Nick and I, we rode it front row.
We rode second row.
And you sat behind us. I loved it. I thought it was great. And I don't know if it's because we were in the front. I don't know if it probably didn't make that much of a difference, but I really enjoyed it. I know Nick really enjoyed it too.
That was a bit rough.
I mean, it had some rough spots.
Maybe
But,
it's my seat.
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about Excalibur? I don't think I already asked you.
Yeah, I thought it was a little rough too. I mean, it wasn't a bad ride. It was just a little rougher than what I expected. But the crazy part was how close we got to the ground. Like I felt like you could reach out and touch the weeds on the ground.
There was grass growing through some of the track.
Yeah, especially like after the first drop, it was like laying on the ground. The track was. Yeah. I mean, if they get any kind of rain, it seems like you'd have a splash down right there.
I will say, one of the best signs in the business.
Oh yeah, the entry sign for Excalibur is great. It's like the sword and the stone. It says Excalibur. They had to like chain it off because I'm assuming people were like climbing up on the sign.
Yeah, when I went 4 years ago, it wasn't chained off like that. Yeah.
And they have some really awesome looking like medieval flags around the coaster and everything. And going up the lift hill, they have like these medieval looking flags. The theming overall is really cool.
Of course, the hot rumor has been for years that's going to go at some point.
Mhm.
There's nice polyamp for coasters. Nobody's listening from Valleyfair, but if you are, I want one of those flags, please.
Oh yeah, sell the flags.
Sell the flags are one of the signages to me. So that's Excalibur.
Yep. Renegade.
Last but not least, so Renegade was Murray's favorite coaster.
That's right.
Yeah, it was that first drop is just so unique and cool. And we rode it twice. So for sure, my favorite coaster of all time on the first ride. The second ride, it was a little more jittery, but it was still really good.
Yeah, we were in the front row on the first ride. In the second ride, we were on the very back.
Yeah. So it was a totally different experience. Plus, the second time we rode it in the back. It was running faster because it was like, it broke in a little bit during the day. And it was warming up. Yeah. So it was definitely more fast, more intense later in the day and sitting in the back. Yeah.
And when I say this, as someone who just likes to ride roller coasters, maybe not a full-on enthusiast, but to compare it, my favorite used to be Maverick.
Yeah.
And so this one ended up beating out Maverick.
Yeah.
Renegade, yeah. This is one of those moments where he doesn't say anything again. I looked over and he was cheesing.
Yeah. I was
a big old grin on his face.
Yeah, I think you asked him what he thought, and then I think Murray, you said something like, "That might be the best coaster I've ever been on."
I was like,
no, what I said was, I think I just pitched a tent in my pants. No, just kidding.
That thing is made of wood.
Which thing? Both things?
The coaster.
Oh, okay.
The coaster, you perv. It's a wood coaster.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But like you were saying, though, that S-shaped drop, the first drop, is so cool. That's the only coaster I can think of that has that kind of drop. A lot of the GCI wooden coasters have like some kind of cool swooping drop.
Oh yeah,
this is the only S-shaped one I can think of.
My two favorite parts of that ride is the beginning part and the end part. I love that. So after the first S drop, you kind of go straight for a little while. There's a little bit of like little speed hills, and you kind of go on this big overbank turn. At the very end, when you're swooping in, you go over a big overbank turn past the fly by the station.
Yeah, you fly by the station. Yeah,
and even in the very end, it still feels like it's going 50 miles per hour, like it's top speed.
Yeah,
it never slows down.
It's paced really well throughout. Like it maintains speed really well. It's a really good layout.
Yeah,
it's not. Mystic Timbers is still my favorite GCI coaster, which Murray, you have not been on. That's at Kings Island. I think you would really like that a lot. But it's probably my second or favorite GCI that I've been on.
It's my second favorite.
Yeah.
Yep. But to me, it's better than Prowler. It's better than Lightning Racer. It's better than Wildcat. It's better than Thunderhead.
Yeah.
I'm curious to ride American Thunder. I'm riding American Thunder at Six Flags St. Louis in a few weeks.
Yep.
I can't wait to ride that GCI. But yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
It has Murray's seal of approval.
That's right.
That's all you need to know to go up there.
Murray gives it 2 thumbs up.
Just ask for the Fish Nuts special.
Fish Nuts special. That's right. They'll let you cut right to the front of the line. Just tell them that Fish Nuts sent you.
Yeah.
Fish Nuts.
Yeah. Is that all the coasters we talked about? Wild Thing and everything. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I think Valleyfair is a really good Cedar Fair park. It's.
I like it better than Worlds of Fun. I think I like it better than Dorney. It's very close.
It's very close. I still like, Cedar Point. and then Knott's Berry Farm for me, then Kings Island, and then maybe Valleyfair or Dorney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah. It's in the top 5 of the Cedar Fair parks, though, for me, out of the 9 or whatever. Well, there's Carowinds too, actually. Carowinds is better, but it's up there.
It's like 6 or 5 for me, I guess.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, Nickelodeon Universe.
Yeah, so we checked out Nickelodeon Universe at Mall of America. They feature 3 roller coasters. The main coaster
4.
there, 4, because they have a kiddie one. That's right. The highlight coaster there is the Rock Bottom Plunge, which is their Eurofighter.
It's excuse me, sir. It's a SpongeBob SquarePants Rock Bottom Plunge.
That's right. Yeah, it's a long name. It's their Gerstlauer Eurofighter.
Yep.
It's not super tall. It's not super long or anything, but for being an indoor coaster, they packed a lot in a small space.
Murray had to go on 2 straight up chain lifts.
Oh yeah, 2 days in a row. Yes, because so this is another one with a complete vertical lift hill and beyond vertical drop.
Yep.
Yeah. So comparing Monster and Rock Bottom Plunge, I'm assuming that Rock Bottom Plunge wasn't as scary for you, just because it was shorter.
Well, between that and that, I mean, after going on Monster 3 times, like the third time up on Monster, I was kind of like, okay, I'm over it now.
Right. Yeah.
I never really asked you, what did you think about Rock Bottom Plunge? Okay.
I liked it. So the whole thing.
What would you rate out of 10 Coaster Boys?
Out of 10 Coaster Boys compared to everything I've been on?
Well, just that coaster.
Just that coaster.
If you were reviewing Rock Bottom Plunge, what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10 is 6.5.
6.5 Coaster Boys.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, proceed. I was just curious what you were going to rate it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I guess, maybe even closer to 7, just for the fact that I wasn't expecting that big of a coaster inside of a mall.
Right. Yeah.
I was expecting just all kinds of kiddie rides, and we get in there, I was like, oh, this is like half of a real coaster.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's legit.
It's big in there. Yeah.
The coaster itself, I wouldn't say is anything remarkable,
No.
but it is remarkable just because it is indoors.
Right.
That lift hill, you are literally like touching the ceiling almost.
Yeah. And with it being so like tall inside of a building, I think it's like 75 feet tall or something.
It is 75 feet. I would say the ceiling, you kind of go by the glass triangles, right?
Yeah, like the push out, they have a glass triangle.
It's probably 90 feet up there.
Yeah.
So you're close.
So it makes it look and feel taller than it actually is.
And one part that played into that ride was how slow they make that crest.
Oh,
they
yeah.
really slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
Which is perfect. Yeah, they want you to take in the view. And
They build the anticipation. Are you drinking blue beer?
Smirnoff Ice.
Oh, classy.
I was like, it's very summery. We're talking about coasters, like close to 4th of July. So I was just thirsty and I grabbed something.
Plus, you didn't want to get wasted on the podcast.
Yeah, I can't have slosh mouth. I mean, I'm hanging out with experts here.
Yeah. It looks good.
You might do better on the quiz.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I think Rock Bottom Plunge, I thought it was really fun. It was better than what I was expecting.
It's about what I expected.
It's a quick ride, but it doesn't feel super quick necessarily.
The lift up and the slow crest over is my favorite part.
Yeah.
I like the drops really good and and right after the loop, it has a pretty gnarly speed hill.
Yeah. That
goes into like this sort of like overbank turn that goes back towards the station. The rest of it has a pretty cool helix where you're really close to the ground. I think it has like a corkscrew or something. No, it has a heartline roll.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty unremarkable, but it's cool.
It's the best indoor. No, it's the best coaster I've ever been on inside of a mall.
Okay. I wouldn't say that for me.
That's true.
I like the Orange Streak better.
Let's talk about that. And excuse me, it's Pepsi Orange Streak.
Sorry. It's Smirnoff Blue Orange Streak.
Yeah, actually, I think I agree with you. So the coaster we rode second was the Pepsi Orange Streak.
I think it's Zaire. I think made that.
Maybe. Yeah. I thought it was actually really fun.
Oh yeah.
The train is super long. I counted how many people it held. I can't remember.
It's like Beast-esque.
Yeah.
Beast-esque.
As far as the train length. Yeah. I think it was maybe 28 or 32 people or something. It was a lot of people.
It's one train, so they get a lot.
Yeah. So one train ops. But the layout of the coaster is so cool because it goes completely around Nickelodeon Universe. The log flume was
round through. I mean, everything.
Yeah, the log flume was closed, unfortunately. Not that we would have rode it, but there's a part of the Orange Streak where you actually like interact with the log flume, like you're going through this mountain structure and like going over top of the log flume. So it seems like there have been some cool interactive moments.
I think it has what is it 2 or 3 tire lifts?
I think two that I can think
is the
of.
main one a chain or a tire? I can't remember.
I think it's all the tire lift hill. Yeah. But yeah, I think I enjoyed Orange Streak more than Rock Bottom Plunge. Yeah. Yeah.
Now maybe if I rerode them multiple times, I would take Split. But for riding once, I just found
it was really unique.
I found it was just like a nice, relaxing, but it was still fun though. But it was like relaxing. You got to see the whole park from your advantage. Yeah. And I've said before, there's something about being indoors where it has like that air conditioning, like wind.
Yeah, it's different than being outside.
So
yeah,
and that's one reason why I love like laugh tracks so much.
Yeah,
it has that indoor wind and it just feels different.
And yeah, like you were saying too, with the Orange Streak, there are parts of it like you're going all over the park. You're going like in between rides and stuff. And there's even part of it where you're going past these trees and Mark like smacked the leaves out of the tree as hard as he could.
I think I even got a cheer from someone in the back of the train. I heard someone go, "Yeah!"
You did.
Hell yeah!
Either that, or they were probably yelling because they got whipped with that branch after you let it go.
Whoever was like below it, like just got rained on by leaves.
Well, there's a guy in the back of the. I remember him being pretty excited about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. What did you think of Orange Streak? Did you like it better than Rock Bottom Plunge, Murray?
They were about the same. I definitely like the fact that I looked around more on this one, like just to see all the scenery, where sometimes on the rides I'm like looking at the track ahead and just like getting into the ride itself. This time I got to take in more of the peripheral view and just see everything.
Yeah, they're totally different experiences for sure.
Really liked it though.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a fun coaster to be on, like especially with friends, because like you're just like having a good time on it, like laughing at stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Fairly Odd Parents, maybe
the Fairly Odd Coaster. Yeah,
I mean, excluding Time Traveler. Time Traveler is elite. Maybe my favorite spinning coaster.
Yeah, Time Traveler obviously number 1. Laugh Track for me is probably number 2.
The only reason about Laugh Track that it kind of lessened for me is I've been on 3 clones of it.
Yeah,
the Laugh Track is far superior to the other 2 clones. They're both indoors.
Yep.
Now Laugh Tracks is more impressive because all the theming. The theming is so cool in Laugh Track.
Yeah,
but. Obviously the Fairly Odd Coaster, what's it called?
The Fairly Odd Coaster. Yeah.
It's a brand new, unique like layout because they had to make it unique.
Yeah.
There's some really good moments on that.
It's a great layout for a spinning coaster.
Really, because I was almost mocking it in the line. I was like, oh, here comes another here comes another pandemonium.
I was just expecting, just like a stupid credit, like to ride it, or whatever. It's just a credit. And
I gotta tell you, Rock Bottom's my favorite coaster there.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of right. Like, all 3 of the coasters were really fun.
Rock Bottom is fun, but like
the other 2 are more unique.
I was giggling the whole time on Fairly Odd Coaster. Like I was just like, it's more fun in quotation.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and part of it for me could be because I was expecting not a great coaster, because a lot of the spinning coasters they kind of look like a Wild Mouse, where it's a lot of like back and forth hairpin turns.
Yeah.
And then some drops and then it's done. But it was a really fun and unique layout.
What do you think about it, Ray?
I liked it, and Adam and I talked about it after we got off because we were spun the right way where we were backwards on the final drop, and you just didn't see it coming. It was just that nice little
there was a great pop of air that me and Murray got.
The finale on that ride is really good.
Yeah, and
you get 2 pops.
And Murray and I were going through it backwards, so we didn't see it coming, and it like really, popped us out of our seat for a second. It was fun.
I'll tell you what, really surprising.
Yeah,
and maybe I like it so much that I was so surprised.
It's almost like the coasters there they're all really different experience, but they're all equally fun. Like for me, it's like 1A, 1B, 1C.
It really is.
Yeah, it just depends what you're in the mood for.
And just to wrap it up, just so people want to know if they ever want to go there, you can buy a wristband. That's all day for everything, $40-ish, right?
Yeah.
If you can also ride individual rides. The coasters are $8 a piece.
Yep. So they're a bit pricey.
You pay $24 for just 3 rides.
Yeah, and actually, correction, they have 5 coasters there. They have Rock Bottom Plunge, Orange Streak, Fairly Odd Coaster,
the Barnyard one,
the Barnyard Kids Coaster, and then they have the Airbender Coaster.
That's right.
Which is like a
U-shape.
It's like a U-shaped coaster. we weren't sure if it was considered a coaster or not because we thought it was like one of those coasters, like a pipe scream where it's like driven by like a tire for the momentum, but it's actually a launch. It launches.
Yeah,
So it's a
legitimate
coaster.
coaster. We didn't ride that one.
We didn't ride it. We decided to save our $8 on that one.
My girlfriend likes to shop. Girls be shopping. So I'm going to get back to the next couple. Young comedians always say, women, they love to shop.
Yeah.
But we're going to go back to Mall America the next year or two.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get
You'll get that one.
I might even ride the Barnyard one for the cheap.
Yeah.
The Barnyard one is a legitimate circle.
It's like an oval. No, it's a circle or an oval or whatever, but it's still $8 to ride that thing. I wouldn't pay it.
It's
small.
tiny.
The
train is almost as long as the one side.
Oh yeah,
of the oval.
It's ridiculous that they charge $8 for that. But anyways, if you're in Minneapolis to go to Valleyfair, also go to Nickelodeon Universe because it has 3 really fun coasters, and Airbender looks fun too. And they had some really cool looking flat rides actually.
Much like Rock Bottom, the Airbender, the 2 crests are right at that roof.
Yeah. The theming is great throughout the mall of the Nickelodeon Universe too. It's impressive. It's an impressive park being indoors.
Buy some SpongeBob cups, some Blues shirts.
Yeah, check it out.
All right, and last but not least, the best park of the trip, Mount Olympus.
Mount Olympus in Wisconsin Dells. This was our first time going to this park for all 4 of us.
Even seeing Dells, I've drove past on the highway, but I've never actually been in Dells.
Right.
Underwhelming.
Oh, man. Yeah, so Wisconsin Dells is very much a tourist trap type of city, like Branson, Missouri, like Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's like all those souvenir shops, go-kart tracks,
motels,
all those, the upside down museums, the wax museum. It's all those, like the Ripley Believe It or Not museum. It's all those like stupid roadside attraction things.
It is Branson and Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge. Well, I actually think Gatlinburg is pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's Pigeon Forge, Branson, but much uglier.
Yeah, it's ugly. The parts that we saw anyways, it's not much to look at.
No.
And it seems like Mount Olympus owns the town because like every hotel on that strip is like owned by Mount Olympus, which is, it's crazy. So we knew going into the park that Mount Olympus did not have a great reputation. And so we knew it was a bit of a dump. We knew that safety standards weren't really a priority for them. We knew things were a little bit sketchy there, but we went anyways.
Well, first off, tell them how much we pay for tickets.
That's what I was going to get to. Helldiver found us a hell of a deal. 4 tickets for $20 total, not $20 each, $20 total. So $5 each to get in, which is, it's ridiculous how cheap it was. So even if, you can pay $5 to get in.
And Murray, tell them how much parking was.
$45?
No, 25.
Oh,
that's 25.
Oh.
I tried to include you in the conversation. $25 to park.
That's how they get you in there. They charge you really cheap entrance fee, but like really jack up the parking prices.
Oh yeah, oh my god, 4 people for $20, and you get to we couldn't believe it. 25. You're already there. You're screwed.
$25 to park. Yeah. So that was a bit of a shock. So I guess if you pair the parking price in with the tickets, we end up paying like $12 a piece or whatever. So it's still not bad. The main reason we wanted to go there was because we wanted to ride Hades 360 because it's a really unique coaster. It's
a coaster enthusiast bucket list coaster.
Oh yeah, it's so unique. It has the longest tunnel section of a coaster in the country, maybe the world.
Yep. Twice.
Yeah, when it opened, it was the only wooden coaster with an inversion.
Yep.
Is it GCI?
Gravity Group.
So that was the main reason why we went. We wanted to check that out. They also have Pegasus, which is a wooden coaster. Zeus is a wooden coaster. They also have Cyclops, but that was closed because they're retracking that. So we knew we were going to go there for 3 credits. And we wanted to ride some go-karts, but we didn't ride go-karts because and plus it was about to rain. But anyways.
On to Hades.
Yeah.
I am giving the floor to Fish Nuts.
What'd you think, Fish Nuts?
Oh man, you sure you want to start with me?
Yeah.
Because this is not going to be good.
Go for it.
Yeah, probably the least favorite ride I've ever been on. And it definitely had unique elements. I say that because for me, it was rough. It was very jittery. And then that combined with the tunnel, I thought there'd be some like flashes of light, but it was so long in the dark that I didn't know exactly what to brace for. And it wasn't a scare thing. It was more like, I don't want to hurt my neck or my back thing. Like the ride itself was fun, but it was like, you're going through there already shaking because it's a little rough. And then it does have some, jerks and spins. Like it wasn't just a straight through the tunnel like I thought it might have been. So that kind of caught me off guard too. But I mean, the inversion part was cool. That was fun. But other than that, every time we were in those tunnels, like, all right, like I just got to get through this without being hurt, and it'll be a one and done.
No, yeah, in the tunnel, it's pretty much as much like lateral, like shifty, like
kind of S-bends, like
S-bends,
kind of back and forth with some like little speed hills and stuff. I agree with you, Murray. Like when we're in the tunnel, which I thought was really cool because it is long. I mean, you might only be in the tunnel for 5 to 10 seconds, but it feels longer.
Yep.
I was a little like, I was definitely bracing myself the whole time in the tunnel because I didn't know what to expect. So like, yeah, I was worried about like hurting my neck, or even like I made sure to keep my mouth like closed so I didn't bite my tongue or something. Yeah, because you can't see anything at all in there. So in a way it makes it really cool, but in a way it's like it adds to like the sketchiness of the ride.
Yeah. That ride is one of the most intense coasters I've ever been on.
Yeah.
It is intense.
Yeah.
Intense.
Mm-hmm.
It is unforgiving.
Yeah.
In the entire time.
Yeah.
Besides the chain lift.
Right.
So for those who don't know anything about it, you actually drop out of this. One thing about Mount Olympus, every station is way up.
Yeah, you have to climb like 3 floors of stairs or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 floors of stairs.
But it provides that chance to drop out of the station, which I think all their coasters do for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know if Zeus did.
It kind of swoops down.
No, or Pegasus. Yeah, Zeus does drop out. Pegasus, I don't know.
Pegasus is up high. Right?
Yeah.
But so you drop out, and before you even get to the chain lift, you do like some helixes.
Yeah,
and like
it's like a coaster layout for a bit before you hit the chain lift.
It's like a good 35 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're
going pretty fast.
You're screeching through that.
Yeah.
Once you drop down that lift hill, though, I mean,
you drop straight into the tunnel too.
It is relentless, and it is jarring. It's not for the faint of heart.
No.
I think you said it best. It is my favorite rough coaster I've ever been on.
It's my favorite like intense ride I've ever been on. Yeah.
Because to me, the layout is impressive.
Yeah.
Gravity Group did something special with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching it and like looking at the elements and like seeing what they did. I cannot believe they did this.
The layout is really cool, really unique.
And in the parking lot when you climb out of that, like seeing a person, that inversion is huge. Mm-hmm. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool how it pops out of the parking lot. In the parts everybody knows the inversion, everybody knows the drop, but like there's so many there's it does have a double dip.
Mm-hmm.
And you fly through it.
Yeah. And that part's cool too because you're going through the coaster structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while you're waiting in line climbing up the 4 floors of stairs, that double down goes right by the staircase, and the only thing separating you from the coaster and getting your arm ripped off and the coaster train is like this latticing that they picked up at their local like Lowe's or Home Depot.
There was like a Lowe's sticker on it.
Yeah, and it even had like holes in it where people were like ripping at it. If you wanted to, you could stick your arm through there and get it ripped off.
Yeah,
that was just one of many examples of low safety standards.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay into them.
Yeah, we'll wait for that.
Quickly.
Yeah,
I'm really gonna lay into them.
Can I talk about? Are you done talking about Hades? Because I want to talk about Hades.
Yes.
Okay. So what I was gonna say about Hades, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I'm not gonna give you scores or anything like that because we are gonna do it.
Yes.
I want to make you watch a review on our
Yes.
YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Hades, like Mark was saying, you drop right out of the station, and like as soon as you leave the station, like it's on. Like it's probably like what, a 30-40 foot drop out of the station.
Probably, yeah.
So you're probably only going like 30 to 40 miles an hour, I would guess, before the lift hill, but it feels intense, like the stuff that you go through. Like so the intensity starts like immediately. And we sat in the very back. They're comfortable trains, which helped, because if they were like not the comfortable trains, that thing would be a nightmare. But Yeah, so like right from the beginning, it's pretty intense. Then you go up the left hill, you drop down in the tunnel. And while I was riding it, like I just kept thinking to myself, holy crap, what is happening? Like it's just like shocking. And then I thought the inversion was like, I was kind of wondering like if it was going to feel smooth or not. It does. It's really smooth. It's like really fun. You go through it pretty fast, but it's good. You know, It's not rough at all. The transition's really good. And then you kind of come around, then you come back into the tunnel under the parking lot. You have the double down, you have some other stuff. But when we got to the brake run, in my mind, I was thinking, I think I like that coaster, but I'm not sure, just because like I can't think of a coaster that I've been on where it like shocked me as much. Maybe Still Vengeance the first time we rode it, like where you're still thinking about it, like processing the ride after. So like in my mind, I was like, I think I liked that a lot, or do I not like it at all? It was like,
I wish we had to rush out. They were kind of busy. They only have one train. Every ride only has one train. And they're also they're Timberliner trains for people who want to know.
Yeah.
But
I want to ride it more
in the front. We were on the very back. We want to be whipped over.
I think I would like it more in the front. So overall, though, like after thinking about it more, I do like it a lot, and I kind of wish that this coaster was at a different park, because I think I bet I will like it more in the front, just because the intensity wouldn't be so much. But part of it why I like it so much is because the intensity is just like an out of this world type of experience. But like I wish it was at a park that takes better care of their coasters.
To be fair, they were retracting. I mean, you do see retract work on their wooden coasters, but you still kind of, you know, when you walk into Mount Olympus, everything's just so like dumpy and like you can walk around literally and just stick your hands like over walls where coasters are flying by. Like to me, that park is just waiting for somebody to
It's
die.
a lawsuit waiting to happen.
It's like Action Park.
It is.
I was like I've always heard stories, but like I could not believe how many coaster flybys there was no fencing really for.
Well, there's a part of the path where you walk past Cyclops, which was closed because they're doing construction on it. But you can literally reach over this wall and touch the track.
Even Hades, you can.
Yeah. So
no, not Hades. Zeus, you can.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Even the Hades people ripping that fence, you could easily stick your hand down there.
Oh yeah, you could if you wanted. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to.
You could walk on that track, no problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The safety was definitely not their top priority there.
They had one worker running a coaster besides Hades.
Yeah, on Zeus.
On Pegasus and Zeus.
Oh yeah.
One worker.
Yeah. She was the one person checking belts and also operating the coaster. It's nuts.
That's not normal.
That's not normal, Murray. Usually there's two minimum, usually three, I would say. Like the main person like running the coaster at the operating booth doesn't leave the booth. No. They stay there, and then there's one or two people.
And they never tell you when the train leaves. They just like send you.
Yeah.
Or she just sent you.
There's never like, all right, enjoy your ride. It's just like all of a sudden you're going.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's one person pretty much running the coaster by themselves, just one person, which is not safe.
Wasn't one of those people like crossing the track multiple times while the train was out?
On Hades. Yeah. Like, kept crossing the track, like without, usually like if you see it,
signals.
At Cedar Fair or Six Flags, you'll see like the employees have to like signal to each other, like when they're about to cross over, even if they know like it's going to be safe and they're going to be fine. But just a protocol, like they always have to make sure the other person is aware that they're about to cross the track. That didn't happen here at all.
I will say though, every worker was very nice.
Yeah.
They were very nice. They didn't seem like rude. They seemed like they were happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell there's just like no leadership there.
No.
It's almost like whatever.
Yeah.
And like you can't expect this one worker.
No.
Like to like control all that. If someone was there was tons of line skipping.
Right. Well, plus another reason why I think they have two operators often is because they all have, the operators at one end of the station and then the other employees at the opposite end.
Helping check belts.
Like checking belts, but also like looking around to make sure like no one's standing on the coaster tracks, how they look around and then give the person the thumbs up. None of that.
No.
I mean, you could get away with almost, if you wanted to be stupid, you could get away with almost anything there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
I can't believe nobody's had their arms ripped off.
Yeah.
And those flybys. I can't. It's unbelievable.
So we rode Pegasus, which is their smallest wooden coaster. That thing was bad. Like it had some really tight, like almost hairpin
there was
turns.
Turns on a wood coaster.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. And the funniest part of it, it's funny like watching people ride it, because as you're coming in, you're flying into the station, and there's this like last minute like tight turn into the station, then it hits the brakes, but it gave people the most extreme whiplash I've ever seen on a coaster before.
I post on Twitter.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, that ride. It might be my least favorite coaster I've ever been on. I hated it.
It was bad.
It's painful.
What did you think of Pegasus, Murray?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but after riding like the extreme Hades, I was just like, okay, like that one didn't seem as bad.
Right. I mean, it was super uncomfortable, but since it was kind of slow, it didn't hurt necessarily. Well, and we knew to brace ourselves for that final like breakneck enter into the station, which helps.
I mean, Hades has the intensity roughness where like you're just jittery, but that's like normal. Pegasus has like hairpin turns in that brake run where you like whiplash your neck though.
It's
just badly designed.
Yeah, it's poorly designed. Yeah.
And then I tell you what, that Zeus shocked me.
Yeah, we rode Zeus last. We were not expecting to like it because Hades we thought was gonna easily be the best coaster there, and after riding Pegasus and that being super uncomfortable, we were expecting that was Zeus too. Yeah. Oh, another cool thing too before we talk about Zeus, it's cool. Zeus, Cyclops, and Hades all kind of like intermingle with each other.
Yeah, sometimes you can't tell which is which.
Yeah, so from the parking lot, it looks like just one giant wooden coaster, but it's actually 3 wooden coasters. But yeah, anyway, so we rode Zeus, which also drops out of the station, which is cool. It's not as extreme as Hades.
It's Valraven-esque.
Yeah,
It kind of swoops off to the left into the chain.
Yeah, excellent coaster.
Oh, excellent.
Zeus was awesome. Yeah, smooth, really good airtime, good layout. It was fun.
What kind of coaster is Zeus? Why is it
back?
Out and back.
That's right.
It's an out and back coaster where it doesn't ever feel like it's losing speed. And I would say there's a lot of like big floater. It's a lot of speed hills.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
Ripping through it.
Yeah,
smooth, fun. Holy crap!
It's one of the best rides of the trip, really.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was fun.
So good.
Surprisingly fun. Yeah,
I've seen other people say like I know other people say Zeus like shocked them.
Yeah,
like, in comment sections how good it was.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I'd be really curious to ride Cyclops to see how that compares, but I could easily see why some people might like Zeus the best at the park because if you're not into like super intense rides like Hades, Zeus is like a great alternative.
I don't think on a limb when I say Zeus was your favorite coaster there, right, Murray?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially after the first 2, it was like I didn't even know what to expect. So I was just like, once we got through that, I was like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a really, really good ride. Solid.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It was really good. And yeah, so we rode those 3 coasters. We were gonna do one of the go-kart tracks because they have like multiple go-kart tracks. But
it's a bit with the big Trojan horse. We're going for it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. But the lines were long, and we still had like a 6-hour drive home.
We were trying to get to
Little America. Yeah,
it was closed.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't know a Little America was closed yet at that point. So we decided to just head out. So it was basically 3 coasters and we left, but we were still there like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It felt like. Merch there sucks.
Oh, it's awful.
Also,
you know, again, with the amount of Olympus people who run that park, you own all Wisconsin Dells. You clearly have money.
Mm-hmm.
Fix your park.
Yeah,
like, seriously, fix your park.
They need.
How is this thing passing code?
I don't know. Maybe they're greasing the wheels with someone under the table, like paying people off. I don't know. I don't get it.
There's not even signage that says don't jump this fence. I mean, I know that isn't like people know, but still though.
I've never been to a park with such a lack of like safety precautions. It's bizarre. And I mean, we didn't go to the water park, so they have the big water park, or they have
it's dumpy.
Yeah, it looks not dumpy. I mean, it looks dumpy. It doesn't look great.
Go to Noah's Ark.
Yeah. So they have a large outdoor water park. Then they have an indoor water park. They have an indoor amusement park, which I don't think there's any coasters in there. I think they used to have like a spinning coaster or something, but I think it's mostly flat rides and arcade. Then they have the big outdoor park.
They own that entire like few blocks. There,
Yeah.
like 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks.
Yeah, and then they got many like resort hotels, resort in quotes.
They look dumpy.
Yeah, so they have money, but before they put any more new rides in, they need to invest in their infrastructure at that park because it's bad.
It's really bad. It's
bad.
the worst park I've ever been to.
Yeah, yeah. I would go back just to ride like Hades again, maybe.
Oh yeah, if I'm going past, I'm definitely going back to ride Hades.
Yeah,
but that $25 parking though. Ugh.
Yeah, the parking. I wonder if you can like park somewhere else and just walk there.
Oh, you could. Oh no. Here's a hot tip for you. It sits right next to that upside down building that you see like in Ransom.
Yeah,
you could park in there and walk right on.
Yeah,
over.
There were signs there.
Easily.
There were signs that said not to do that. It said whatever
I saw
parking.
somebody walking.
Oh yeah.
There.
You could, I mean, that whole street is filled with all sorts of stores and fast food places, hotels. You could park somewhere and walk over, I'm sure.
Not pay that $25. Park at one of those stores and just walk right on. There's actually openings in the gates. Just walk right on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's nothing stopping you from just walking in the parking lot.
And I can guarantee you, if some employees saw you, they're not going to care.
Oh, absolutely not. No. If our experience with the employees is any indication of how much they care about their job, it's minimal.
No. No, they were nice.
They were very nice.
When you're alone, but they're not going to they're not going to they're not going to say from the line jump. They're not going to. No. So I would still recommend going there to check out Hades because it's Zeus.
Yeah. So yeah, like we said, we were going to go to Little America on our way home, but it was closed.
To wrap this up, swing it to the game real fast. A quick game, Murray.
Yeah.
The 4 parks, Murray, rate them in order. For you, personally, for you. Okay, I want the 4 parks, put them in order from best to worst, and give me your top 3 to 5 coasters on the trip.
Okay. So for sure, number 1 would be Valleyfair.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say Adventureland.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I'd take that. Yeah. Man, that's a tough call because the Mall of America was just so surprising.
Yeah.
I'd probably still go with Adventureland, then Mall of America, and then Mount Olympus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Yeah.
Okay, let's see your top 3, or at least or five if you want, really. But what's the best?
Yeah, the best one was
Best and
Renegade. Hands down, best one was Renegade. Second would probably be, I'd have to go with Wild Thing over Monster, just because Wild Thing had that floater that I had never experienced before, so that was awesome. Man, you guys are probably gonna think I'm crazy.
So wait, hold on. So it's Renegade, Wild Thing, Monster.
Nope. So this is where you guys are probably gonna think I'm crazy. I'm actually gonna go with High Roller over Monster.
Oh wow. Okay,
that's
fine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
See, okay, here's a question though. I think I liked High Roller a lot, but I think Zeus is much better than High Roller. I thought Zeus was much better. But I mean, it's your personal preference, but did you forget about Zeus though?
So those two are very similar. I think maybe Zeus is just because of the whole Mount Olympus experience leading up to that.
Yeah.
It brought it down a half notch. So I'll give High Roller.
High Roller
that felt more like Kennywood to me.
Yeah, High Roller is a lot more classy of a ride.
Yeah.
Ride-wise, though, I think is much better.
I think, me personally, I think Zeus and High Roller are very similar. I think Zeus is more fun, but
High Roller is bigger.
Zeus is more fun, but High Roller is like a classier, nicer experience.
I'm not looking at Lowe's fencing over.
To me and Murray, that's more important.
Yeah.
We like a classy coaster.
We're classy.
Okay, so
we smell like leather books and rich mahogany.
So Renegade, Wild Thing, High Roller, what shall I have? 4 and 5.
And then Monster would definitely be next. And then Underground. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Fairly Odd Coaster, Orange Streak.
Yeah. I'd probably go with, Dragon Slayer was so new and unique to me. I'd probably put that one up there as number 5.
Okay. Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, this is going on long, so we're going to hurry up, done this break, and then we're going to do a quick beginners.
A game, Ask a Non-Enthusiast.
Ask a Non-Enthusiast. Or Ask a Enthusiast in Training.
That's right.
right, and we're back. And we're going to play, what'd you call it? Ask
a non-enthusiast.
Or ask an enthusiast in training.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if your listeners haven't shut it off yet, they will very quickly.
I think this will be fun because I think it's fun to say we know a lot of stuff. But I think if I was listening to this, it'd be fun to quiz somebody that doesn't.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, because for us it's it's a couple of these all people might not know though. It's just sort of you looked around and you maybe have an educated guess. I only ask questions for parks you've been to, so
right.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, here's one that you kind of answered already, but I put it on here because I know it brought up. What is an out and back coaster?
Out and back is the one that goes.
Explain it.
Straight out, has a turn, and then comes back to the station.
Okay, and what is that turn called? Yeah, that's right. Just for bonus points, what do we call that turn part where it comes back? You're close. Just add a little bit more to that turn.
Is it a helix turn?
It's a turnaround. The turnaround.
Turnaround. Okay.
Okay. But you got it right.
One for one. That's as good as it gets. Let's just stop right there.
Okay. Question number 2. Name an inversion. Any inversion.
Name what? An inversion in an inversion?
Okay.
No.
Name an inversion. Any inversion.
Yeah. So many inversions have different names.
There's lots of different inversions.
Different types of inversions.
Loops, upside downs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Name the technical term of any inversion. There's lots of them.
Crap. What was the one we were talking about for Monster? Helix? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep saying helix till I get one right. Oh.
That's gonna be so loud.
That's all right.
No, a helix is almost think of like a tornado where you're kind of circling around,
like
that's
a toilet flushing. Yeah.
They can go up or down. That's a helix.
Yeah, you could have said corkscrew.
I was gonna name that, but that was the name of the ride, so I was like, well, maybe that's just the name of the ride. Okay, corkscrew.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Vertical loop, Immelman, dive loop, Cobra roll. Yeah, I don't know.
Inline twist. Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Inline twist.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oopsie daisy.
You're 1-1.
Whisker ticklers. It's like making stuff up.
Okay.
All right.
Question number 3. What is that big, giant red and yellow coaster at Cedar Point called?
Red and yellow?
That big, giant one, the huge one. The red and yellow huge one that launches.
It launches? Oh,
at Cedar Point.
Top Thrill Dragster?
I got it right.
There we go.
You got it. You earned it.
I added that one because a lot of times you'll hear people, what's that green one called?
Oh, yeah.
I love the green one.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times, non-enthusiasts just call coasters by their colors. Yeah.
I'm glad you said launches.
All right. You're doing good so far.
Okay. It's going to get a little bit more difficult. Ready?
Oh, boy. Yep.
I'll get the buzzer ready.
What is a hypercoaster?
Oh, man. I know we talked about this. Does it have to be a certain height?
You're close.
Or certain speed?
Okay, it's height. What's the numbers?
Oh, man. Has to go over 60 miles an hour?
No, height.
Oh, height? Wow.
You said height first. I'll give that part to you.
Okay. Has to be over 70 feet.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Okay, so a hypercoaster is anything that's 200 feet to 299 feet. A gigacoaster is 300 to 399. A strata is 400 to 499.
Wow. How many stratas are there? Do you guys know?
2? Is it still just 2?
Well, there's Chocolate Dragster, Kingnica, and then Red Force. No, that's a giga.
No, it's giga.
Yeah, so 2.
Just 2.
Yeah, just 2.
Okay. You've been on one of them.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's crazy, to be honest.
It's that big red and yellow one at Cedar Point. You got the height thing right, though.
Yeah.
No.
Sweet.
Murray, what is a hypercoaster?
One that is 200 to 299 feet high?
Yes.
You heard a little bit of a bell.
Forget your.
There. Okay.
Hey,
Got
Let's
it.
get that out of here.
Sorry.
We're
This is
good.
on
My
the
hot
fly.
pockets are done.
Okay, now these are observation questions. Ready?
Okay.
What
Yeah.
you've been on? Which coaster has a bigger top speed? You think? Ready?
Yep.
A. Steel Venom. You know which one that is?
Yep. That's the. Yep.
Yep.
The impulse coaster. Yep. The U shape. B. Wild Thing. Both Valleyfair. Which one do you think has the bigger top speed?
Bigger top speed.
Yep.
Oh man.
The faster top speed.
I'd have to say Steel Venom.
You are wrong.
Dang. I felt like it was a trick question because I was like,
get that out of here.
it seems like the obvious answer was Wild Thing, so I went with Steel Venom. I was like, well, maybe just because it's going like it has that straight drop, like maybe it's just like pulling you a little faster.
Yeah.
I actually would have guessed Steel Venom too.
I wouldn't have.
No.
Because because
It's got to be close.
Well, yeah, it is. It's close. So Steel Venom is 68.
Mm-hmm.
Wild Thing is 75.
Okay.
I always know with hypers you're gonna get at least 75.
Yeah, I would have guessed like 72 with Steel Venom, and then I thought maybe Wild Thing would have been about 70.
That was a fun
Maybe I
question.
didn't.
That's good.
It didn't necessarily like feel any faster. Maybe because my butt wasn't in the seat most of the time, but like both of them felt close to the same. So.
All right. Okay. Here's one. This you can answer too.
Okay.
Murray.
Okay.
This is just more like let's take a guess. What was built first in amusement parks? The Ferris wheel or the carousel?
Okay. Yeah, he'll guess and then I'll make a guess.
The carousel or the Ferris wheel? What was the first ride?
I'm gonna go with the Ferris wheel.
I was gonna guess the carousel.
Okay, see, to me, the answer is a carousel. To me, it seems a little obvious because it's easier to build. The Ferris wheel is much bigger, but the very first carousel ever built, take a guess.
Let's see. I'm gonna guess 1843.
What about you, Murray?
I'm gonna go just a little bit later, like 1875.
Ooh, 1861.
Oh, okay. We split the difference.
Yeah, there you go.
The Ferris wheel was 1893.
Okay.
Oh,
This is what Google says.
Yeah. All right.
On both
According to
these.
Google. Yeah.
All right, Murray. Which park opened first? Which park is older? Adventureland or Valleyfair?
Adventureland?
That is correct.
Got it. Okay.
Just delayed reactions. Everyone's in suspense.
Adventureland was 1974, and Valleyfair was 1976. Hence the
Really?
Route 76.
Route 76. Yep. So
Yeah,
really
I would
close.
never guessed Valleyfair would open that
Look,
long ago. So is it,
I was wondering if you thought it'd be a trick question because Valleyfair is so much nicer.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just because it's bigger, they have more money
Yeah,
to take care
yeah.
of. Yeah, it's only 2 years apart.
Yeah.
okay? Wow, yeah. I would have never guessed.
All right, here's another one which is older. Which park is older? This is from 2 years ago. Kennywood or Conneaut Lake Park? With that Blue Streak ride, remember?
Yeah.
And Devil's
That
Den.
jam.
Devil's Den with the Hooters in it that,
Oh, yeah.
that you so loved.
Oh, I still dream about that place. Man, ooh. I'm gonna go with my gut instinct wants to say Conneaut Lake, but I'm gonna go with Kennywood because I thought I remember reading a story about how old one of the rides were.
You should have went with your gut.
Dang it. Always trust your gut. That's what they always say. Some of these
Kennywood.
seem too obvious, so I'm just like, yeah, it can't be that.
Kennywood is 1899. Conneaut is 1892.
Oh, okay. That's old.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah.
All right. One more. Here's one more just for fun. This is another one of these. What was first? Which of these was built first? Classic amusement park ride, like the Ferris wheel carousel. What was built first? Bumper cars or the classic scrambler ride? You know what the scrambler is, Murray?
Yeah.
It's just the one that spins, it just stays flat. Yeah,
Yeah.
the classic scrambler. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because they're both like,
Mm-hmm.
they're
both vintage
But they're-
style carnival fair ride
but they're
type thing.
clearly not as old as like
Yeah.
a carousel.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll
Bumper
guess
cars
it.
just have that unique like connection at the top to make them run. So I'm not sure if the technology was there yet for that. So I'm going to go with the Scrambler.
I would also say the Scrambler.
You're both correct.
All right.
Give us that bell.
I trusted my gut that time.
Nicely done. I lost track of what you got, but it seemed like you got half of those questions right.
Yeah.
I got 11 out of 10. What are you talking about?
Not too bad.
Just to finish it off, what year do you think the Scrambler, the first Scrambler was built?
1903.
What about you, Murray?
1920.
Murray's closer. 1938. What about the bumper cars? For fun. I'm sure even most people don't know this stuff.
1943.
1938?
1959.
Okay.
All right.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
I want to add some too that maybe somebody. I'm sure most people are gonna guess. Like, the bumper.
I didn't know a lot of those.
But the years was fun.
Yeah.
When it was. Yeah.
It's just crazy to think how old some of these things are. Like, it just blows my mind that these are even like they keep them up good enough, still safe to ride, and like with me thinking about
was 1920.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about how many people have rode that ride.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably our longest podcast we've ever made.
Thanks a lot, Murray. Murray.
Yeah, old Jabberjaws over here.
Is that
It's Joker. Murray.
What you're saying? And you think that's
it's
funny?
Mr. Fishnuts to you.
It is Fishnuts. Yeah, of your there's a question of the nicknames we came up with. Which one do you prefer? Fish, Mulch Nuts, or Fishnuts?
I like Fishnuts. It combines both of them. It's got a ring to it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure
We got to put something classy in front of it, like Sir. Like, I don't know. Make up some kind of like higher royalty.
Benedict Fishnuts.
That almost sounds like something you order on a menu at a restaurant.
Yeah. Or Bernard Fishnuts or something. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, I'm kind of partial to Mulch Nuts.
Mulch Nuts. Should we tell them why the nicknames?
Yes.
Fish, because when we went to Kennywood, I don't know if they still do anymore. I don't think they do.
Look, I was gonna buy it for
So in the gift shop that looks like a spaceship, like a UFO, they were selling sailor hats that you could customize with letters on it, like iron-on letters, and it was like $1 per letter. And on that trip, Murray, he's a fan of sunflower seeds and corn nuts, and he likes to find like unique flavors on trips. So
Old Bay.
He found Old Bay flavored sunflower seeds, I think. And for those that don't know, Old Bay is like a fish seasoning product. So Mark started calling them Fish. And then when we're at Kennywood, we were going to get him the sailor hat that said Fish on it, but they closed before we could buy it. So that's where Fish came from.
And then also too, anytime we were under peer pressure or something, we just chant fish. So we did that a few times at the parks, like to get him to ride Monster more than once. He can't refuse the chanting of Fish. And then Mulch Nuts, because on the trip in Minnesota. Well, me and you have a game we play.
Yeah, Mark and I have a game. It's immature and stupid, but we stand about 20 paces apart, and the game is where we each have to stand still, and we take turns throwing objects at each other's nuts. And the goal is like to see if you're brave enough to not move.
Which we don't.
Which we always move. But most of the time I never get close. But anyways, so Mark and I were horsing around on the trip. We just got out of the car, and Murray was like getting in the trunk for something, and then Mark and I were playing our nuts game
with a stick,
with mulch and sticks. And then when Murray wasn't looking, his like arms were like raised above his head for some reason. I chucked some mulch.
He was closing the hood.
Yeah, he was closing the hood. So I chucked some mulch at his nuts, and I think I got you like a little bit above, but that's where the name Mulch Nuts came from. And then Fish Nuts, because we just combined the names. So that's the story behind that. From now on, he's a Mulch Nuts or Fish Nuts. So if you see him out in public,
or Benedict Nuts.
Benedict.
Can't wait to see what my middle name is going to be next year. I get a new nickname every time.
Adding on. Well, Murray, thanks so much for being on the podcast. A long one too. Oh, that's the studio audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, thanks for having me on. It was a blast. And every year, I mean, the trips are super fun.
Oh yeah.
Look forward to it.
We always look forward to it. Next year, we'll take you to some other new parks you haven't been to. Maybe Texas, maybe, I don't know. We'll think of something, some good parks. We've been to a lot of the parks in the country, obviously, so we'll take you to some fun ones. Is there anything you want to plug before we go?
No, not really. I mean, I post some pictures of you guys always online. You guys do a ton of hard work to make this happen. So I always find it interesting. I try and take some pictures for your listeners to see actually how much work you guys put into this. And we got some really cool ones this trip.
Oh yeah,
so
I'll post them.
Keep it up.
You took a cool picture of me taking a video of Hades 360 that I'll post. Yeah, we appreciate your enthusiasm and your support, Murray. You've always been really supportive of us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we love you, Fish Nuts.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. Thanks again, Murray. We'll have you on again soon sometime. And thank you all for listening. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at The Chain Lift.
And if you ever see us in a park, please yell Mulch Nuts at Murray.
Yeah. Yep.
Just push us right outside and go right for, oh my God, it's fish.
That's right. He'll like
I'll give you a solid handshake and a smile.
That's right. It's the fish.
Okay.
All right. See you later, everybody.